worms.
So I went for a walk the other day, and it was raining a little bit. And when it rains, the worms come out of the ground. And I noticed along the side of the road, there were a lot of worms. I am not someone who goes fishing, but if I was someone who went fishing, that would have been a good time to collect worms. Now, of course, worms are these wriggly, kind of slimy, like if you touch them, they're slimy. They're not, it's not nice to touch a worm. And they wriggle through the ground. And I think they eat organic matter and they make the soil better. So worms, we also sometimes call them earthworms. Buds. So the trees have buds. Some of the trees have blossoms. So buds are kind of this little tiny green part of the tree before it opens and becomes a leaf or a blossom. So when you walk around right now, there's no shade under the trees. The sun can shine right through because there are only buds so far. There are no leaves yet on the trees. Blossoms. So I'm not sure what part of the world you live in, but there are some places where there are cherry blossoms or apricot trees that have blossoms. Blossoms are tiny flowers, usually found on a tree or bush, although we use it for in other ways as well. But generally, if you were to say, oh, you should go to Washington, D.C., the cherry trees are blossoming. There are a lot of blossoms on the trees. And the cool thing with blossoms is it usually smells really good too when you see a lot of blossoms. It's a fun word to say, by the way, blossoms. Long grass. So I searched for a guy mowing his lawn where he let the lawn go for too long. I would say that's the phrase we would use. He should have mowed this long grass a couple of weeks ago or more. Now he's out there with his push mower. I hope it's going well. But when we see a lawn and we think, oh, it needs to be mowed, we often say that there's long grass. We sometimes say tall grass. You might think that would be more common, but often we will say things like, oh, your grass is getting long. Well, there's a lot of long grass in the backyard. It needs to be mowed. So one of the things you will see out in the wild at this time of year is long grass. And then, of course, lawn mowers. Let's zoom in on this one. Another picture of someone mowing down some long grass with a lawn mower. Those words are very similar, aren't they? Long grass, lawn mower. So hopefully you can hear the difference there. Again, we call this a push mower. I think in my professional opinion, that's the wrong mower for the job. There are a lot of things I'm not good at. I have a lot of experience cutting lawn, and if I was to cut this lawn, I would be trying to find a much bigger lawnmower. But there are, yes, lots of lawnmowers out there at this time of year. And then puddles. Now, I noticed the other day, I was walking outside and there were puddles, and I was wearing a pair of Crocs, which normally, if the water's only this deep, Crocs are fairly waterproof, but I think my Crocs have a hole in the bottom. If you don't know what Crocs are, you'll have to search that up online. It's kind of a plastic pair of shoes that you can put on quickly. I wouldn't actually call them shoes, like footwear. We'll call them footwear. And I stepped in a really shallow puddle, so you can have a deep puddle or a shallow puddle. And my foot got wet. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting that to happen. But yes, definitely outside right now, there are a lot of puddles. Snails. So I don't really like snails. Snails are these little, let me go back here for a second. Puddles are just little indentations in the ground or lawn that fill with water when it rains. I should actually define the word that I'm teaching, shouldn't I? I know it's pretty easy in this lesson because there's always a picture, but I should for sure explain that. Snails. So snails crawl along the ground. Snails have a little shell on their back. And the same day I was walking and saw worms, there were also a lot of snails along the side of the road. I don't know why the worms and snails are close to the road. That seems dangerous to me. Probably poor parenting at some point in their lives. Sorry, that was a joke. But snails, they're also slimy on the bottom. They crawl very, very slowly. And there's just lots of them right now. It's pretty cool. Twigs and branches. So trees are beautiful, but when it's windy and when you have a long winter and there's a lot of windstorms and snow sometimes puts weight on the trees, twigs and branches sometimes fall off. The difference between a twig and a branch is simply size. They're all just parts of a tree. But when I was outside the other day, I noticed that there were some branches, some pretty big branches laying on the ground, and there were some twigs. So I need to clean those up before I mow my lawn. So there are definitely twigs and branches outside. Rubber boots. As I mentioned, I went outside wearing my Crocs. I should have worn my rubber boots, but I know my rubber boots have a hole in them, several, and I need a new pair of rubber boots. So this is something, though, you will definitely see out in the wild right now. A lot of people will wear rubber boots. Jen has been wearing her rubber boots for 2 or 3 weeks as she begins working outside. So that's very, very cool. Wheelbarrows. So this is one of the coolest inventions ever. A wheelbarrow is a little hand cart, I guess, with one wheel on the front and 2 handles on the back. And you can fill it with all kinds of things, and then you lift the handles and you can move stuff around. You can drive the wheelbarrow. I think because there's a wheel, it actually acts as a lever, if you know how levers work. So it actually makes it easier to lift all of the stuff that's in there. But you will definitely see wheelbarrows at this time of year. Almost everywhere I walked the other day, I went through several neighborhoods. I probably saw 5 or 6 wheelbarrows. So people are cleaning up twigs and branches. People are just outside, maybe moving some soil to a new area. People are going to start planting stuff soon. So definitely there are a lot of wheelbarrows out there.